Rutendo Matinyarare has information that could potentially bury Gudawash Tagwirei. Looking at what Rutendo Matinyarare has put on the public domain regarding Gudawash Tagwirei, and he could actually face a lot of charges. There are many allegations that Gudawash Tagwirei has leveled against Gudawash Tagwirei, and Rutendo claims that he has evidence. He is not just speaking this without evidence. And according to advocate Thabani Mpofu, Rutendo Matinyarare could face potentially defamation charges if he is lying. On the other side, Gudawash Tagwirei could potentially face treasonous charges, could be charged with the law of Mnangagwa called Act, which has been used against opposition political party members. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Thabani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So, Advocate Thabani Mpofu is a fundi, especially on legal matters, and he is one of the Zimbabweans who have listened to what Rutendo has placed on the public domain. And he says Rutendo alleges that Guda Tagwirei interfered with efforts to procure the removal of sanctions on Mnangagwa and his wife. If that claim is true, then the treachery involved would be extraordinary, especially given that Tagwirei is a Mnangagwa boy. I cannot say where the truth lies in these allegations. ZANU PF people are evil. ZANU PF people lie. ZANU PF people are disloyal and lack probity. Anything is possible. What I can say with certainty is that is what the law requires. If Rutendo is lying, then he has defamed Tagwirei in a manner that cannot be brushed aside. It's not political talk, but malicious slander. He must be held to account and can be sued in our courts, even if he is not in the country. If, however, he is telling the truth, then Tagwirei's conduct is assuredly treasonous, laying aside for once the small matter of it being in breach of the Patriotic Act. Either way, the law must take its course, and it must do so against whoever is guilty. This cannot be business as usual. If Rutendo is in the wrong, Tagwirei must move decisively to clear his name. He has no option. If Tagwirei is in the wrong, then the alleged commission of treason is not something to be waved away. Zimbabweans would have every right to demand criminal accountability. That is what the advocate wrote. And Rutendo had to respond with a long essay, almost the length a little bit longer than that of the advocate. He says, I have recordings of most of my meetings. You know, Rutendo, I think being in ZANU PF, he acted like an agent. Everyone whom he was engaged with, he had recordings. Either he recorded he has audios. He also, even if they were texting messages, he recorded everything. He seems to have everything in order. So he's quite a very dangerous guy. As he was interacting with these people, he was taping them, recording them, whatever. And I can trust that he has more, That is, he has more also even on Mnangagwa, in my view. That is why Mnangagwa, realizing, might have sent to Ngwarara to say, Ngwarara, go and stop that boy. That boy will burn the whole camp. He says, secondly, the instruction, he says, I have recordings of almost my meetings and telephone conversations with Tagwirei. Secondly, the instruction for me not to remove executive order sanctions for at least 5 years from the time I met him in 2022, so that he could buy up more companies struggling under sanctions, was not given to me alone. There were witnesses. So Rutendo Matinyarare claims there were witnesses. Look at how Gudawash Tagwirei is scheming. So the intention was to buy the companies that were struggling, which were under sanctions. So if sanctions were removed, then he could not buy. So it's a selfish business ambitions. The more the government was struggling, to him it was an opportunity. And that's why Advocate Thabani Mpofu has actually advised Gudawash Tagwirei that if Rutendo Matinyarare is lying about this, you have to clear yourself from the judiciary system in Zimbabwe. Otherwise, this remains on you. And this would be taken as the truth. But Rutendo went and commented there and said, I recorded every conversations I had with Gudawash Tagwirei. I even have witnesses, which means when he mentions it, these witnesses are also willing to testify. He says, well, the information was not also given to him alone, but it was given to many people. And he says, there were witnesses. Additionally, his instruction that I must not fight the Magnitsky sanctions on the president, first lady, and others after removing the executive order sanctions were removed in 2024 was given to me by him and his associates several times in front of witnesses too. That is why you saw me not touching the Magnitsky sanctions. Finally, and over and above everything, his conduct emboldened the Americans to impose the Magnitsky sanctions on him, the president, first lady, and other senior officials 2 years later, specifically because, one, he refused to pay the lawyers he got us to engage to fight sanctions for 2 years while we were in court. Two, he refused to depose and sign affidavits in South African courts, in our case against Biden, the US Treasury, global banks, the Secretary of State, and others. This was after they laid out their reasons for sanctioning Guda and others under executive order sanctions. I don't quite agree that this surfaces as a breach of the Act, but it may be read as treason or failure to combat economic warfare or sabotage. But Rutendo is not a lawyer. And then he just showed us some that he was indeed communicating with Gudawash Tagwirei, Simba Chidando, Mberi Kwazo, whatever. And the message was written as follows by Simba Chidando. Rutendo asked me to send the affidavit you agreed to sign. It is attached on this email. Please initial every page at the bottom right hand corner in black ink and sign above where it says deponent. A registered attorney must also sign every page in black ink and sign above where it says Commissioner of Oaths. After you've done so, please scan and email the document back to me. Thank you for agreeing to provide this evidence. Regards, Advocate Simba Chidando. Now there is a message from Simba, from Mr. Chidambo, which says, it was responding to this message. Very elaborate response, Sachitambo. We are now just going to add a few succinct legal points to sharpen your response. And they were saying, thank you, the degree of disclosure and quantifications in KRT's decision. Okay, I will send to KRT and get how much information he will permit us to divulge. So he is sending that as proof that indeed he was in direct communication with Gudawash, Tagwirei, and Rutendo. I must attest to you that he is bearing Gudawash Tagwirei alive. He is bearing the man alive. He is really bearing the man alive, and the man continues to actually say a lot of things. I think others I will actually read them. I was trying to look at this one. Just a moment. You know, it's quite something else. So in simple terms, okay, he says, I have recordings. I think I've read this where he was actually responding on advocate. Says, why is it that Guda Tagwirei's mouthpieces hate that we had dialogue and considerations? Is it because they love to see people fighting? No wonder why Temba said Guda is there to damage the president and the party's image. What is that? It says Guda won't pay. He offered the money to complete with Tungwarara, not gratitude. It's a lot that he is writing, especially regarding Gudawash Tagwirei, and that is why I mean the advocate Thabani Mpofu is actually advising that if Gudawash Tagwirei feels he is defamed, he should act and make sure that Matinyarara is held to account. If he doesn't do so, and if he is guilty of the accusations being laid by Rutendo Matinyarara, then he has committed treason and is in breach of the Patriotic Act, and the law must take its course. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Thabani is signing